Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Youth Pulley Show. My name is Fabian Collins, and as usual, I am your host. And today we're going to be talking about love. It's the third Wednesday, it's 15th of July, and we had said that since we're dealing with human capital development, very four segments. The first two Wednesdays go for personal development. The third Wednesday goes for relationships, and the last Wednesday for professional coaching. So we're here again the third Wednesday, and we're taking this series on love is a fraud. We started this amazing topic, last month, and then we've received lots of feedback. People have talked about how outrageous the topic is, and that's the idea, to give an outrageous topic and then to see reasons, why we said love is a fraud. It's not actually a fraud. We're going to get to find out more about that on the show this evening. I am so excited to be here with you. I am happy because I know you're out there and you're watching us right now. And I'm not alone today. I'm not alone today. Last week I was alone, but today I'm not alone. I'm with someone I respect so much, someone I listen to, someone whose words are like gold. You're going to hear her speak. And she's going to be here talking to us about love. Her name is Mrs. Lillian Ojo, right? She is a speaker, and she has helped many young brides, find their footing in marriage, help many youths, determine what it is exactly they should be doing, with their time prior to, relationships and all that. So it's going to be an amazing time with Mrs. Lillian Ojo this evening. So let's welcome her to the show. We're going to see her face on the screen. She's also actually very beautiful too. I just hope I can say that.
No, you can't. Only my husband is permitted. So good to see you. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. Pleasure is all mine. Thank you so much.
All right. Okay, so I was going to add that she's not based in Nigeria right now. So she's in the US. So you can just quickly just have that mental switch that the Youth Pulley is a global show, right? We bring people from all countries, and you're going to be hearing her, talk about this love is a fraud thing. And so if you're here with us, you could just drop a comment, say something, say hello, say hi, and we'll recognize you, right? So to start with, how have you been, Mike? It's been a long time.
Very fine. The journey from, moving from Nigeria to the US has, really been it takes a lot of time to settle and all of that, but really I've been fine, and I do miss home a whole lot. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, how's the family?
We are fine. My husband is fine. My son Jason is fine. He's doing great. He's going to be 2 years on the 30th of July, so we're really anticipating. Wow. Yeah, so he's okay. He's okay.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so love is a fraud. Love is a fraud. Before we talk about, love is a fraud, then ellipses, ... Something attaches to that to make sure that is complete, because I know somebody is here this evening ready to strangle me and say, look, love is not a fraud. Love is not a fraud. Love is real. So when you first saw this topic, when I told you about the topic, what was your reaction?
Well, my first reaction, firstly, I want to apologize for those who I meant to that the program is going to start for 5 p.m. We really apologize that we're starting a bit late. So we're just going to get right on it. The truth is, when I saw the topic the first time, love is a fraud, I'm like, no, love is not a fraud. And then I saw the part B to it. The truth, really, love is not a fraud. It's just humans, we, that actually make it seem like it's a fraud. Love is perfect, in all sense. In the godly sense, it is perfect. There's no stain, there's no spot. It is perfect. But of course, when the human factors, come into play, then it begins to sound like there's something wrong with love. But love in its essence it's a beautiful thing. So the first thing that came to my mind is, no, Fabian, love is not fraud. Absolutely not. I disagree with you. But we're going to learn, what makes some people think that love is a fraud.
Okay. So the reaction was actually anticipated. When I tell my guests about this particular topic, the first reaction is just about the same reaction you have. It is not a fraud. And I can relate to that. Love is a beautiful thing. Please don't ask me if I've been loved, but love is a beautiful thing. All right. So, like we usually do, we're going to be asking lots of questions and we're going to be talking about lots of things. So, if you have questions about what we're going to be talking about today, you can send them in the comment section and then we'll address them as we continue. Okay, so
excuse me, Fabian. Someone just said the same link, but I can't join. Someone is trying to log on, but they can't join. So I don't know if that's something we can fix from our end.
Okay.
Have you seen anyone who can join, or we are just both talking to each other? Has anyone actually joined? Can you see?
I can't. Let me
see anyone. I can't see anyone.
I don't know if our host is on the show. I can't see anyone too.
Yeah, so we're just talking to each other.
Let me see. Hold on. Okay, people have joined. Actually, people have joined. Some people have joined.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So a friend of mine just said I have joined. So please, guys, the only way we would make this interactive is if you drop comments so we know you're actually live and you can hear us, so that will really make us happy.
Okay. So sorry about that, and sorry about the fact that we taken some time to trying to set up. Okay. Apologies for the little hitch we had there. But we have to get these things right so we have good time with you on the show. So love is a fraud. Ellipsis, when it is triggered by trivialities. The first series we had on this particular topic was love is a fraud when it is driven by lack of affection, right? And we talked about it extensively. The video is there, replace it. You can always check it out on Abiding TV, right? For today, we're talking about the fact that love is a fraud when it is triggered by trivialities. Love is a fraud when the reason why you are saying you love somebody is not strong enough, not solid enough. We're seeing the comments already. Mrs. Lillian, permit me to say you look lovely.
Thank you, Faith.
That's from Faith Eddie. Welcome, Faith Eddie, to the show. All right, so we said love is a fraud when it is triggered by trivialities. When the reason for saying you love somebody is not solid enough to actually qualify the strength of the word love. It is deep, right? The word love is deep, and it's so unfortunate that most people have, by constant usage or by abuse, have degraded the power of love. But it is still there. It's still there, right? So when it is triggered by trivialities, then it actually becomes a fraud because the person who is a victim to that might actually be suffering. So we're going to be talking about that today. The first question we have for you, Mrs. Lillian, I hope you're ready.
I'm not.
Okay.
Just kidding.
So the first time you told your husband you loved him, the very first time, I actually know that it's difficult for ladies to say, right? Difficult for ladies to say I love you. So they actually the guys get to say it first because they're trying to get the ladies' attention and all of that. So it's kind of a little bit, it takes time for the ladies to say. So, but when you eventually said it to your husband, what was the reason? Like, what did you see?
Okay. I saw everything I wanted. I saw everything I had hoped for, everything I had prayed for. I knew that we were going to go on a journey, and I knew that this person is someone that I can, walk this journey of marriage with. He wasn't perfect, neither was I. In fact, I was much more imperfect, but I just knew that this was someone that I could walk the journey with. So for the very okay, let me just give you a little background how we met and all of that. So we met at work, so it was a little bit, official and all of that. And he took me out, where in an environment that was a little bit boring, there was no much excitement. So we just decided to go out and, just sit somewhere and relax. And then we got talking. And it had seemed that we had known each other for years. It didn't even seem that we had just met, each other. And he was so open, like you meet someone today and he's an open book, and I found it also really comfortable just talking to him. And that's very unlike me. You don't just meet me one day and I tell you everything. I was so free with him, and it was like, this is a friend. This is someone you can actually share your deep thoughts with, share your ambitions and what have you. So from that moment, I just knew that this was someone that I could relate with. I wouldn't say it was love at first sight. I just saw him and I liked him and I jumped on him. That seldom happens, but not at all. We got to know each other, but things, were kind of pretty fast with us. I met him in November, and in February we were already, he had met my parents. We're already talking marriage, so it was really beautiful, at that moment. And not too long after we met, there was no come sit down, let me tell you I love you and I say I love you too. No, we didn't have that. It was that way. We grew to love each other.
Wow.
Yeah, we grew into love. We just grew into it. And I think that's a good way. I'm not saying everyone has to have theirs that way, but when you grow to love someone, you are able to find roots, and of course, when a tree has its roots, even when the branches are cut off, it can always come up again or grow again. Yeah, so that's about it, Fabian.
Wow, that's amazing. That is really amazing. The law of cause and effect states that for every effect, there is a cause.
True.
For everything that happens, there is a reason, whether we know it or not. So
Mhm.
when before you say you love somebody, like you said, you saw everything you wanted. That means there was like a premeditated
Oh yeah.
uh,
Oh yeah.
list, list of the things you wanted in a man, and I
Mm.
knew it would have been like a long list, you
Mm.
know.
Tall, dark, and handsome. That's I'm just kidding.
So we know that there is always a reason for everything. And then before you say, you love somebody, um, there is something you've seen. But for this evening, we're looking at the fact that there are those people who whose reason for saying they love somebody is not strong enough. The reason, because when the reason is not strong, when the purpose is not really strong, or the entire reason why you love this person is just really, really short. By the
Yeah.
time you get into it, you'll be bored. You'll be tired of the person, and
Yeah.
then before long, you will be looking elsewhere. That is why we
You-
have people who cheat,
you're right,
and all of
Fabian. You're right, Fabian. Like I
yeah.
said earlier, I mentioned roots. When your love is not properly rooted, when the storms of life come, when issues that you never thought, could come, when they happen, it makes you to stagger. It makes you to say love is a fraud. I've
Yeah,
not, yeah, I
that
won't
word
say,
is
that,
painful.
yeah, that's when you say, oh, love it. Or like the girls say, all guys na scam or scum, or there's a way they say it these days, all guys na scum or something like that, But the truth
Wow.
is, it is when you are in love for the wrong reasons.
Sure. That's what we're talking about. That's what
When
we're
you are,
talking about.
yeah, when you're in love, or when you say you are in love for the wrong reasons. And there are several examples that ladies and guys give to themselves, that could make them at the end to say, love is a fraud. That guy, he messed my life up. That girl, after all I've done for her, but what was the basis? How did you guys start? Was your love rooted? Your love
Yeah.
must be rooted. Your love must be from it must have a solid foundation. It must. If you plant your love on a sandy soil, what happens when the wind comes, when the drought comes? So it would not be able to stand the test of time. And
Yeah.
marriage would always see, marriage will be tested, relationships will be tested. There are things that would happen that would make you. I've had things happen in my marriage that would make me say, okay, let's go back. Why did I marry this guy? And of course, when I check all the boxes, I'm like, okay, this too shall pass.
Mm. Yeah.
Because it will come. It will come. But like I said, when you are in love for the right reasons, then you're good to go. You could
Yeah.
say love is a
So,
fraud also when your expectations are not met, Fabian.
mm,
When your
we'll add
expectations,
as this.
yeah. So
Okay, so yeah, relationships, marriages, love that lasts must be built on a strong foundation. It
yeah,
must have solid reasons that
solid root.
defy go come. I don't know how to put that.
In Nigerian English, we understand.
Yeah, reasons that are deep rooted. So we're going to take examples of trivial triggers of love. Those set of people who fall in love for the wrong reasons, who say they love somebody, who confess love, and then the reason is not strong enough. We're looking at trivial reasons. So the first is something that I used to believe in. I used to believe in this one until, like a few years ago when I started reading some books and then having experiences, scars and everything. So the first one is the first sight syndrome. So somebody says, from the first day I met you, I fell in love with you. That is very tricky, right?
Mhm.
Because I've read that a lot in Nigerian movies. It'll be like, from the first day I set my eyes on you, I fell in love with you. You were beautiful and everything. So let's talk about first sight syndrome. Is it like a
Okay.
thing? Is it real?
Okay. So I would like to paraphrase that. I think what people mean when they say the first time I saw you, I fell in love with you. See the word saw. They saw their vision. So actually, what they really mean by that is they were attracted to the person. It is just an attraction. Love is deeper and beyond. You could see a guy
Yeah.
and say, "Oh, um, I like his haircut or his body frame or what have you." That's just an attraction. Something got you to like the person. And as we all
Okay.
know, for guys are attracted by what they see. Most women are attracted by what they hear. you know
Okay.
so for a guy, he could just see a lady and be like, first time I saw you, I fell in love with you. No, you were attracted. Something
Yeah.
caught, there was a spark. Something caught your attention. Probably her voice, her eyes, whatever it is, her shape. But like I said earlier in my introduction, that is not enough. That's not the roots. That's not enough roots, for you to take it one step further. Because as we all know, those things fade with time.
Sure.
A clear skin
Yeah.
today will be a wrinkled skin in some 10, 15, 20 years or what have you. A guy with
Yeah.
six
That's
packs after taking some beer and eating a lot of poundo yam and what have you, what happens? He's going to have a pot belly. So then what happens?
yeah.
When love becomes a fraud at that point.
That's while you were talking, we're even delving into some points we're going to still mention, quickly,
Oh,
so that
okay. I've seen your I'm seeing your notes spiritually. So
I, okay. So, like we said, when some people get into relationships, and then at the end of the day, it is not what they expected. They had concluded that what they saw first was love. So when they now got into it, it is not what they wanted. They now conclude that love is not really real.
mm,
Love is painful. Love is, love hurts.
mm,
That's, you conclude easily that something is terrible when the purpose for even beginning it was wrong. Yeah.
mm,
So the second, that even brings us to the second reason why some people say they love somebody. So you hear somebody say, "I just like the way he talks. I just like the
mm,
way he moves. I like the way she dresses." That's the second reason. The way he or she talks, moves, walks, dresses. I've had so many people say, "Why do you love this person?" Kai, just look at the way she walks, man. Fabian, look at the way she walks. Who walks like this?
that guy should wait until she gets pregnant. You see the work will change.
That is a very
Once
bad.
she's pregnant, the work will change. She'll walk like this.
And the ladies are very, very good at dressing. They dress to kill, right?
Mm,
And we guys, since we're driven by what we see, right? So we see that, and then we go home, we cannot sleep. And so, because we cannot sleep, we conclude that the reason we cannot sleep is love. So we say, this will only be love, man. I am having sleepless nights. So this will only be love. That is another trivial reason why some people conclude that something is love. Why, conclude that their feelings, the feelings are for somebody's love. They
mm,
conclude that because they can't sleep, so that is love. And, to talk about that, sleepless nights, if you're having sleepless nights thinking about the person, the perfect question would be, what are you thinking about? Because when you can answer that question, we can know whether it's lost or love. So let's talk about sleepless nights. Yeah,
okay.
like when you met him.
Well, I've had sleepless nights too. And I think anyone who has either been in love or has liked anybody or has had a crush, of course, must have had, one night where you think so much about the person. You can even dream that the person is giving you a red rose and then proposing to you and all of that. So we cannot deny that these things, actually happen. But like you said, when
You're not
you,
strong enough.
yeah, it's not enough. But it's okay to have those attractions. You're a human being, you've got blood flowing through your veins. It's normal and it's okay. But like I said, it is never enough, because in the long run, when the storm comes, when the drought comes, the roots, if it's not grounded, if your roots are not deepened in the soil, then there will be a problem. Love then
Mhm.
will become a fraud. I'm going to keep saying that because we need to know what this topic really is. So if you're having sleepless nights and you're thinking so much about the guy, you are eating and all you can think about is the guy or the girl, it is still not enough. You need to search
Yes.
deep. You need to be sure, that this, what you feel, is enough. I was going to start by introducing what love is. And while I was pondering about the topic, I just realized that love is different to everybody based on your experience, based on your upbringing, based on even your environment, the kind of books you read. Everyone would define love in a different way with regards to those things I've mentioned, your experience, where you've lived, your upbringing, the books you've read, the videos you've seen. Some ladies watch the Titanic movie and then feel they need to find a guy who can die for them. And if they can find a guy who can die for them, the guy who can let the what's it called, the plank go
How
for
do you even how do you even know? Because those kind of things, the guy has to die for you to know. So if the guy is still alive, you still don't
you know those are just some of the trivialities, if you get what I'm trying to say.
know.
So
Yeah.
you may want to define love is, it should be defined individually, what you think love is. But what I would say clearly is what love is not. Okay, love is not disrespectful. Love is not violent. Love is not betrayal. Love is not lies, and all of that. We know, we hear it all the time. You get,
Yeah.
and also love is not a fraud. We know the truth when we're in relationship. I've had a few ladies, come to me, Sister Lillian. There's this guy I met, he's doing this, he's doing that. What do you think? I'm like, what do you think? Because I've come to realize that most of them actually have the answers to the questions. It's there. You know that you're having sleepless nights as a guy because of our curves. You know you're
Oh
having
Lord.
sleepless nights because you've envisioned her without clothes.
Yeah.
It has got
That's
not,
love.
yeah, it has got nothing to do with her content, which is most important, you know. And same for the lady.
That,
Same for the lady. You are probably, you like him or you love him. You're having sleepless night because you are thinking that, man, that guy is loaded. Did you see his Lexus? Did you see his Mercedes Benz? Man, that guy is going to take me to Dubai. You know, that is why you're having sleepless nights. How you are going to show Bolanle and
yeah.
shake the whole campus. And then when
Yeah.
something goes wrong, when your expectations are not met, you then say love is a fraud.
Yes.
You're
Love is
wrong.
a friend. That's what I was talking about for sleepless nights. When you're having sleepless nights about a person, you have to first be sure, the exact reason, why you're having sleepless nights. Why are you thinking about this person, and what is it exactly you're thinking about? So you envision this person as someone who will be good in bed. You know that that in
Mm,
itself is
mm,
that in itself is wrong. So if you're going to conclude on that part, that based on that you're in love with this person, then by the time you're like few months or few years into it, you're already bored and tired and you're looking elsewhere. Then cheating becomes easy. Then the fourth one is finesse. Finesse. Dictionary defines it as a great skill in dealing with people or situations, especially in a delicate way. Great skill in dealing with people or situations, especially in a delicate way. So some people say, I love his charisma. I love the fact that he can lead. He's going to be a good leader in the home. I love the fact that I love how he relates with people. That is very, very good too. But people can pretend. People can pretend. In the post I made today about, I sent out today, as the Youth Pulley broadcast. I don't know if you saw it. I said the title was the art of sweet talking. The art
mm,
of sweet talking. There are people who can sweet talk. People who can, say, they just know the right words to use to get a particular reaction. So they can say this and say that, and then by the time they say the third thing, you're already, giving into whatever they want you to do.
mhm.
So finance, you love the way this guy relates with people, but have it at the back of your mind that people can pretend, right?
True, true.
People can pretend. So let's talk about finance. Is this still enough relating with people and all that? What's your view on this?
See, that's just the person's nature. Some people are just good around people. Some people just are very, very great with people. They step into a room or they step into an office and people just get to like them. They have their way around people. There are some guys who you would say, oh, this guy has his way around women. Or a woman, you would say, oh, this woman has a way around, a guy. Well, it's likable. It's something you can see in a person and then you like, which is not bad. And let me just say, that is why sometimes um, some ladies get to date their bosses, when they see those kind of characters, the way he talks to people, his charisma, or if it's a lady, her oral, she just walks into a place and everybody's like, ooh la la. There are really some things that are actually trivial. It's it's not enough. But I must say this, there has to be something that should attract you to a person. So it's not bad. At some level, it's not bad. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Because because if you're a guy who likes fair ladies and you somehow, I don't know, get to marry a dark lady, there may be a problem somewhere
Yeah.
along the line. Yeah, so it's good to also have, you could have like those things about the person. You need to like certain things about a person, which is definitely okay. But the roots, it has to be enough so that when issues crop up in marriage or even along the relationship, it will be enough to withstand whatever the storm or the drought is. So you don't get to say love is a fraud.
Okay, so the last one we're going to take before we move on to the next segment, we're going to take this one, go on a short break. Then when we come back, we'll take the last segment of the show today. So the next one is sex, premarital sex, that's before you even get married. So we see, I created a scenario the first time we had this series where there is a guy and a lady, right? It's 6 a.m. in the morning. Just imagine it's 6 a.m. in the morning, and they are just had sex, and then the guy looks at the lady in with intent, looks straight into her eyes, touches her hair, right? Pulls it back, arranges it. Then her heart starts beating fast, and she tries to break up a smile, but she's wondering what he's about to say, and then he draws his mouth closer as if he's going to kiss her, then whispers into her ears, "I love you." That's the actors be talking. So you're saying you love somebody after you've had sex with the person and you are not married.
Mm.
That
This
there's
is
an error there, man. There's an error there.
you see,
What do you thought?
you see what the Bible and what God says uh, about sex before marriage.
Yeah,
God is so wise. He knows. He knows. Okay, someone just said premarital sex is evil.
it's evil.
Yeah. So, and really it is, really it is, because for me, because it could cloud your decision. It could cloud your thoughts. Someone who has seen all
Yeah,
of you, someone who you have exchanged body liquids with, you know, it could cloud your decisions, especially you'll be unable to see certain flaws that the person has. Like someone is saying here, don't close your eyes to things that are wrong because you're in love. Fumi is the one saying that. The thing is, when you have sex, it has a way of clouding your decision. It has a way of making you not to take the apt decision. No, it kind of reduces your thought process with regards to your standards, what you would take, what you would not take, because you've already given this person your soul. You've given this person a part of you. So, for example, you have a one night stand and the sex was good, the sex was great. And then what happens?
yeah.
You begin to feel, someone defined love. When I was in secondary school, say love is a feeling you feel that you've never felt before. You see, when you define love that way, they say you are the one that knows what's up. That's how love used to be defined in those days, but not now, not anymore. So you begin to feel things, and that is because body has touched body. The guy can slap you and you'll be like, it was not intentional. He wanted he saw dirt in my hand, wanted to take it, but this guy has just awarded you with a very big slap on your face. So if love is being triggered by sex, there's a problem,
Yeah.
because over time, even sex is not enough.
Mm.
Sex is not enough. Oh, of course. You see, when you get married, you would know. But as a youngster, sex is the main thing. It's what everybody wants to do. It's something everybody, you can't wait. Your energy level is very high, higher. But of course, it's never enough. If sex is the reason why you think that you are in love, then you are in love for the wrong reason.
That should be made louder. That should be made louder. Somebody should write that and send it to the screen. If
Yeah,
sex is the reason why you want to get married, it is the wrong reason. It
it is
is the
wrong.
wrong reason.
Yes, it is. Sister Bodunde just said marriage is honorable, the bed undefiled.
Yeah.
And she also mentioned,
Yeah.
yeah, telling someone you love them after having sex shows that it is lust and not genuine love. Love is deeper than that. I totally agree with you, Sister Bodunde.
I was going to say that, one of the reasons people get married out of pity. That people who get married out of pity for the partner
Mm-hmm.
is because of premarital sex. So you've had sex with this person, and
Mm-hmm.
let's say the person is not pregnant, right? The person is not pregnant yet, but the person is coming to you and saying, uh, this person, you had sex with me, so you're going to leave me like that. You're going to just abandon me. Didn't you love me when you said you loved me and all that? Nagging and nagging and nagging and nagging. And as a human being, so that you will rest now, you will just give in to it. And that's one of the reasons people get married. And when you get married out of pity or out of the fact that you don't want to offend somebody or a group of people, that marriage is going to be like the next best thing or next closest thing to hell, right? Because every day you come back, the first thing you remember when you see the person is the first day the person started nagging. You look at the person, and what you see is disgust. I'm talking as if I'm married.
Okay.
Okay, so premarital sex is not a reason
Mm.
for going into marriage, let alone I mean, should I? Okay, I want to say sex is not a reason, let alone premarital sex.
Mm.
Sex is not strong enough. So the highlights of what we've talked about for the past 37 minutes. First is that we grow into love. You don't just see somebody the first time and say you love the person, right? The way the person talks, moves, or dresses is, could be a thing that attracts you, but should
Yeah.
not make you love. Third thing, finally, the way the person relates with others. The aura around the lady, the charisma of the guy. They're all good things, but then you cannot just have sleepless nights about that and then conclude that that is love.
Mm-hmm.
The fourth thing, we talked about sex too. So that is what we've talked about so far, and we appreciate your comments so much. We appreciate the fact that you're making inputs today. So we're going to go on a short break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about what to look out for. We're going to get Sister Lena's, Mrs. Lena's opinion on this. I'm going to Sister Lena. I'm so used to her calling her. Thank you. So we're going to talk about what to look out for before you say I do as a guy or as a lady. Then we're going to hear our final thoughts on this topic. So see you when we return. Don't go anywhere except you want to invite your friends and invite your family. See you when we return. Welcome back to the show. It's nice having you here again. Thank you so much for staying with us. And we hope, the first segment before the break, we hope you got value and then you learned from what we said. The purpose of the youth play, like we said, is to reveal secrets that will help you um, live in such a way that you will not regret the years you spent as a young person. So it's basically for the youth, but even if you are an adult, it is still meant for you because you're going to, learn the secrets and then you're able to correct some things you need to correct. All right. So we're talking about relationships this Wednesday, the 15th of July, and we're on the series Love is a Fraud. If you're just joining us, this show, this particular series, Love is a Fraud, is meant to reveal those scenarios where people say they love someone and then it is not enough to justify it. So love is not actually a fraud in its original sense. If you've seen the flyer, you see love is a fraud with ellipses attached. It means there is something else to complete the statement. So today we're talking about the fact that love is a fraud when it is triggered by trivialities. And with me on the show is Mrs. Lee, and we've talked a lot today. We talked about the fact that we give examples of trivial triggers of love. The first one, love at first sight. Second one, the way he or she talks or moves when you say you love somebody because of that. The third one, sleepless nights. So you have sleepless nights and then you conclude that that could be a possible reason why you love this person. The fourth one, we talked about finesse, the way the person relates with other people, the charisma of the guy, the aura of the lady. So you conclude, this must be God telling me this person is my bone of my bone. And then the next one, sex. We said that sex in itself, and I got to learn that from this Lillian today, profound, profound thing. That sex in the long run is not enough to sustain marriage.
It's not.
It's not enough. So, yeah, let alone premarital sex. So you just had sex and you're not even married. You're not even married, but you just having sex and you just look at the person and say, "I love you." What exactly do you love? The sex or the person? Yeah, so we talked about that before we went on the break. So now that we've come back, we're going to be talking about this part before we hear Ms. Leon's final thoughts on this topic. What do we look out for before we say we do? What do I look out for, before I say I do? And we know that there are no stereotype things to look out for. In specific, that at least when you see this one, at least know. When you see this one, at least you know that this guy or this lady is promising. And if you approach the person, you will not be taking a wrong step. So I'm not married, so you'll be looking at me and saying this is like a case of father advising married couples. Don't worry.
Let me tell you this, Fabian. Before you get married, you actually know everything. Trust me. Before you get married, you know everything because you read all the books, you've attended all the seminars. When you get into marriage, then you would know if you really know all that you need to know. Because marriage is marriage is the real deal. That's where you get to experience the real deal. Okay.
So what do we look out for? Okay, let's start with the ladies. Ladies first. What do we ladies look out for in a guy what do we see in a guy and say, okay, this guy will make a good husband material, so to speak?
Okay, I want to acknowledge Mr. Samuel and Liu. We can see all your comments. And there's something he said that is very funny. He said Fabian is talking about sex. Jesus. So all right, so let's just move on. He said Fabian knows everything already. I don't trust that boy. You see, that's why I said before you get married, and to be fair to the ladies in the house, before I got married, I got married in the Redeemed Christian Church of God. So of course you go through courtship, and it's about 6 months or thereabout, almost 6 months, and they interview you, they speak to you, they speak to the guy alone, they speak to you as a lady alone, they speak to both of you. You are told to read books, and I think it's so in other churches, which is a very good thing that they do, and all of that, and of course coupled with some other things that you have known before you even find a partner. Please Please, ladies, while you are waiting, find yourself. Know who you are. Know what you can take, what you can tolerate, what you can endure. You need to find yourself. And it's best to find yourself before you go into marriage. You need to know who you are on the inside. Because if you don't, the marriage or the man would have to define you. If he's not a man who carries something, I'm trying to be careful with my words now, because I believe everybody has, something, If he's not a man of substance, if he's not someone who is experienced and who has got it, you may not do so well. You may just be like a pebble in an ocean. So while you wait, try to find yourself. And how do you find yourself? Get to know you. You need to be able to know yourself. What do you like? Do you prefer BMW to Mercedes-Benz, for example? What do you like? What are the things you enjoy? What tickles you? What upsets you? You need to find yourself and you need to know yourself.
Yeah, to even add to that before you continue, what you just said reflects the law of correspondence, and the law of correspondence, states that our life will, like a mirror, reflects the kind of person we are on the inside. Our outer life, how we relate to people, the things we accept, the things we tolerate, the things we do, our perspective to issues will, like a mirror, reflect who we are on the inside. So before you even say what you do, to somebody, before you accept to walk the walk, to walk the marriage walk, you have to first spend time with you, the real you inside.
Exactly.
Like, who are you? Exactly. What are you doing? Because it is easy for a man, I'm talking from the man perspective now, it is easy for a man to say things that will make you look down on yourself, say things that will make you feel that you are not worth it. Say things that will make you go back and cry when you do not know who you are.
Exactly.
It is very easy. Yeah, so that's one of the reasons you have to take time and then discover yourself, because when you know who you are, first of all, you will not attract any kind of person. You won't attract any kind of man. When you know your class, you know yourself, you know what you can take. It's not everybody that comes to you. Others will say you're difficult, but when the right person comes, you're shocked. You just flow excellently well with you. So that's what I wanted to add. So please continue.
So, like I earlier mentioned, you need to, know yourself, and you need to know your purpose. You need to have a vision for yourself. If a guy is not, you look at his vision. Of course, you people should talk, so you get to know his vision and all of that. If you are in a relationship or you're just even dating the person, at least get to see if your visions align with one another. Because you also need someone that you can depend on. You also need a shoulder you can cry on. So those are some of the things you should look at. His vision, does it align with my life? Or he's thinking north and I'm thinking south? Could it work? There will be issues along the way. So you guys need to be at par. Your visions need to be at par. So after you've defined yourself, you've been able to know certain things about you, like Fabian has said, you definitely attract someone who can take all of you.
Yeah.
There are some ladies. Yeah, you'll be able to attract someone who can take all of you. There are some ladies by nature, they are bossy. They are strong. They are high spirited. They are very commanding. I don't see commanding like commanding. No, that's not what not that kind of commanding. It's just
domineering kind of thing.
It's just their makeup. Probably they took that from their father. A man has that, in nature. That kind of woman should not be with a guy who is also very domineering. You will kill each other. somebody's going to get injured. Domestic violence.
Hot water can be French hot water, right?
Domestic violence is inevitable in a case as that. But just imagine if you had not discovered that that is who you are. And I tell people, do this reality check. Do this reality check. I do it on my birthdays, most times. I gather around my friends, maybe over a drink or, we're just eating snacks. I'm like, tell me about me. Tell me if I wronged you, if I did something wrong. Because, your association, you'll be able to, people would talk about the things that probably you didn't do right, or some things that you did right. It helps you. I'm not saying that should define you as a person, because of course there will be some people who say things out of jealousy, just, but I'm saying it can also help you as a person to grow. It will help you to grow. If you have a leader who doesn't correct you, or doesn't, or you have a mother or a father who doesn't correct you when you go wrong, you will never grow. Of course, you're going to turn out a miscreant or something, So it's important also.
It's important also
for you to work with someone who aligns together. One of our sisters can't work together except they agree. So there must. You knowing yourself, you get what you are going to be in probably 5 years. 5 years or 10 years. Is this guy going to be in that circle?
In that circle.
Will he be all of you? We have some great women. There's this woman I'm trying to. She's CEO. And we also have women like Yemi. And women like that. Just imagine if their husband didn't let them to explore. Or you are with a man who is not,
or you
who is intimidated by your person,
who's intimidated
by your personality. So those are some of the things we look at, and also you need to find it's good to have either a mentor, or someone that at least you can be accountable to.
Okay.
Yeah, this really helps in building your relationships. Okay, I don't know what's going on, but I'm hearing myself. Is there something?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but when I speak, I hear myself.
I hear myself.
Oh wow. I think network is beginning to have issues, and usually this should last for 1 hour. So I guess when next we're having this talk on relationships, third Wednesday of next one, we'll now focus on the guys. What do we guys look out for when we're looking to say to ask the question, will you marry me? So what do we look out for basically? So before we leave, we've had a wonderful time. Someone that will support your vision and motivate you. Yeah, I agree with that, Sister Bodindi. Okay, so what are your last words for this topic? Love is a fraud and everything.
Yeah.
What do you want to say?
So first of all, I really want to everyone who has joined the short notice. And of course, a topic like this, it's it's really huge. It's really even the tip of the iceberg. There are so many comments. Here that I would have liked to. But of course, time will not permit us to do so. But if you keep the comments coming, even after we could also still talk and chat about. So conclusively, love is not a fraud. Your expectations were probably not met. This was because what you called love was by trivialities. It was not enough for you to have called it love. It is not enough. So, to the ladies, to the guys, when it comes to love, there's no one size fits all.
strong.
It's different.
It's different.
We all
We
experience
all
love
experience
differently.
differently.
So
So
let us
let
find love
us find love
by defining
by
ourselves.
defining ourselves.
And when we do find
And when
love,
we do find love,
let us sustain
let
it
us sustain it
by the word of God.
by the word of God.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Lillian. We've had an amazing time. I have learned so much, from this series today. And, from the things you said, and even things that were coming up as we were talking and conversing, I've learned so much, and I'm looking forward to, putting this to practice. The idea is not just to pass out knowledge. Knowledge that is not used is of no use, right? Knowledge that is not used is of no use. So the things you've heard, if you're not married, try to live by them. If you're married, try to put them to practice in your marriage. Define yourself if you've not, and then know how to make sure that your vision with the person you're with, is the same. It's the same, so that you're going to the same place, the same direction, and then you don't end up. What is success for the guy has to be success for you, that kind of thing. Yeah, so the guy doesn't end up being, successful in his way, and then you're here feeling, that's feeling empty, so to speak. So these things are very, very delicate. These things are very delicate, but conclusively, like she said, love is not a fraud, but it will be for any person who defines it or who takes it up based on trivialities. Thank you so much for joining us on the show today. We'll be coming your way again next week, Wednesday. But next week, Wednesday, we'll be having a first professional training. Not our first, we'll have a professional training. We're talking about something you should not miss. All right. So, Mrs. Lina, would like to bring you back one of these days, when you're free to talk about love again, Okay. So, that being said, if you have any questions, you could just drop them in the comment section. We will address them as when we come next time we're talking about relationships. We'll take note of the question because you are important. And if you also want to reach out to Mrs. Lillian, you can also drop your questions out, all the questions you want. Or if you know her, you just meet her personally and then you guys talk about it. Thank you so much, Ma, for making it to the show today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh my,
Thank you.
oh my in-laws. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. My family members, my brother, they are here on the platform. Yeah, PPP members are here. So many people are here. Thank you all for coming. I appreciate it. It means a lot to me.
It means a lot to all of us at the Youth Pulley. God bless you and God be with you. Stay safe. Use a face mask. That's very important when you're going out, so you don't end up being a victim of circumstance. Then keep yourself, distanced from people, especially when you're in places that are crowded, so you don't get infected by the, coronavirus. All right. Thank you so much. Until we come your way next time. My name is Fabian Collins, and I am your host. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.